You could have maybe one which just has your webcam and chat on for if you're in between queues in a competitive game. But effectively, a scene is a collection of sources that appear on screen together. So a source is effectively something that appears on screen within one of your scenes. So something like your video game, that would be a source. Your webcam would be a source. Your overlay and some chat or text, that could also be a source. So a source is something that appears on screen, and a scene is a collection of sources. So the first thing we're going to be covering in this video is how you add your video game to OBS. The first thing that you need to make sure that you have is your video game running on your computer. When you're in your video game, it's worth just quickly looking at your game settings. So if you go into your video options from within the game and see what you have selected for display mode. Typically, if you have it set to full screen, that should give you the best frame rates in-game, but it can give you some heavy delays when alt-tabbing, which is probably something that you're going to have to do a fair amount, especially if you only have a single monitor and you're going to want to be reading Twitch chat. If you are going to be alt-tabbing a lot, you don't have a second monitor that you can quickly refer to, then you're probably going to want to set the game to run in a borderless window. This basically makes the game seem like it's running full screen, but it's actually running in a window, so you can alt-tab much quicker, but it will be at the expense of some FPS loss. So now you've got your game running and you have your display mode set how you want it. You want to go back to OBS, and there's a few different methods that you can use to capture your game. Some methods work better than others, and it completely depends on the game. Since every game is coded differently by different companies, they may require slightly different setups in OBS. There's absolutely loads of information on the OBS forums, which I've linked in the description below. So if you're having issues with a specific game, make sure you go to the OBS forums and see if anyone else has had a similar issue. Now, there are 3 different methods that I would recommend for capturing your game. I would start with game capture, and if that doesn't work, go to window capture, and if that doesn't work, finally go to display capture. I'm going to cover all 3 of them quickly now. So if we start with game capture, if you go down to the menu and click the plus icon, or you can right click and choose add, and we want to select game source. Here you can enter the name of the application if you want to. I would just recommend entering the name of the game that you're going to be capturing. Now, the default mode that should pop up should say capture any full screen application. I've had some trouble with this. It doesn't seem to always be able to find my game running. So sometimes you'll have to change this mode to capture specific window and then select the right window in the drop down below. And you can leave the window match priority on executable name. Multi-adapter settings, this is an option if you're using multiple graphics cards, so something like Crossfire or SLI technology, then you want to be enabling this option just to get the full performance benefits of having multiple graphics cards. The force scaling option is useful for downscaling resolution, so if you need to do that, you can enter your custom resolution here. You can leave allow transparency unchecked, because not many games need transparency, but if you do require this option, then this is where you enable it. Now, the limit capture frame rate option is if you are capturing a game at a very high frame rate. So let's say you're playing something like CSGO or Overwatch and you want to keep a high frame rate in game, something like 144 FPS, because you have a high monitor refresh rate.
Hey guys, I'm Fabs, and today I'm going to walk you guys through for a few more images. I'm going to go back to my eraser tool and just erase the rest of the images on the top of the line. Now I'm going to upload a rectangular overlay and drag it across the top. Then, just right-click, send it to the back. And use my color picker to choose whatever color I wish. I like this pink. Now I want to add some texture, so I'm going to go to my effects and pick some shapes. I'm going to make them nice and glowy and use my paintbrush to just color out the images in the bottom because I don't want the effect to be applied on them. Now it's time for some text. I'm going to make it nice and white so it stands out. And And I like to right-click and duplicate the text, just so it all looks the same. Perfect. I'm going to go back to my overlays and apply a rectangular one behind my text. Then I just right click and I send it to the back. Now my white font stands out so much more. Now I'm going to do the same for perfect. Pick my color. And then for candid photo, I want to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go to effects and click on draw. Then after picking my color, I'm going to bring my brush hardness all the way down so that it gives it kind of an airbrush look. Cool. Now I'm just going to tweak it up a little bit. And voila. That was easy, right? Now you try it. Go to PicMonkey.com to put all of these tips to use. Thanks for watching.
So how do you grow your YouTube channel faster this year? Well, the #1 way to get views on YouTube is suggested videos. And currently here on Think Media, 39% of our daily views are coming from suggested videos. So in this video, I break down 3 tips and strategies for how you can get similar results with your content. Coming up.